City Council, Treasurer, the Clerk, on your victories. I really look forward to spending the next 4 years with you. And I want to also thank my family and friends, a lot of them that are here tonight. I could not be the mayor if it wasn't for my family and my supporters. It's because of their support that allows me to be here and start my 4th term. But I really want to put a special thank you to my business partner, but even more, it's not just my business partner, it's my wife. We started our firm about 25 years ago next month. Just me, her, one clerical person. Kids would be under the desk because we'd be working late at night. And to be working together for 25 years. And just 2 days ago, we celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary. And I've gotten the question, from people that, when they find out that I work with the wife and for 25 years, how do you do it? How could you guys still be married together? Well, if anybody should be getting a plaque up here, it's not me, it's her. It's because of her, and I wouldn't be here today doing what I do if it wasn't for her. Today, I was kind of thinking, because people say, well, what are you going to do your next term? So your 4th term already. But there's always so much more to do. When I came in 2011, we just hit the ball running. And if you really look at what residents are looking for today versus what they were looking back 11 years ago, it hasn't really changed. And it's not going to change 10 years from now. They want safe neighborhoods is the biggest thing that they want. They want to be respected and they want to be heard. That's right. But the most important, they also want action in their neighborhoods. They want to see what can we do to improve the quality of life for them and their families. So that's what keeps me going, because we're never done doing that. It started in 2011, it's 12 years later, we're still doing it, and 10 years from now, we're still gonna keep doing it. And it's keeping them safe is one of my biggest priorities. And not just safe when, from one side of town or one certain area. My goal has always been to keep everybody safe, from all the way from north side from Holbrook Road, all the way down south to 26th Street, from Western Avenue on the west side to Cottage Grove on the east side. The whole city, not just certain sections of the city. I want to grow up in a place where my kids, my grandkids, are going to play in parks where they could be safe. Where the elderly can take a walk around the block and not have to be worried about crime. And when I speak about elderly or anybody, and I just turned in my 60s now, so I'm elderly now. So I'm going to be walking around the block a little bit more because I want to live a little longer. But I don't want to be ready for my walk and then tell my wife, hey, you know what, I better leave my phone here because I don't want somebody snatching it from me. Or, I know I got to be back in 30 minutes, but I'm going to leave you my watch because I don't want nobody taking that. And I got $70, $80 worth of gym shoes, and I said, man, I don't want those stolen either. So, well, maybe, so then maybe the safe way is just to walk around in my underwear, so nobody takes anything. I don't want to live in a town like that, because then people would see the mayor walking around in his underwear. First of all, you don't want to see that. But what that tells us is that the police have failed us. But the police can only fail us if we fail them. And this is what's important to me, that we cannot fail the police. The police need every single resource to do their job. They, when you hear about defunding police, it's ridiculous. We need our police department, especially more now than ever. And we need the policing with new technology. Earlier in the agenda, You know, we approved $1 million worth of cameras that are gonna go out throughout the city. 2 years ago, we put LED lights, 2,000 LED lights throughout the city so we could see the community a little better. So now we're looking at cameras throughout the city. That's my granddaughter. She don't even like what I'm talking about. But this is what's important for me in terms of giving our police the resources that they're gonna need. But we also gotta invest in their training. And it's not just their training on active shooters or firing, but it's also that training that's how they deal with our homeless population, the people that are experiencing mental illness. Our police officers have to do a lot. It's not just solving violent crimes anymore. They wear so many hats. And we have to give them the resources so they could do that job. And I think everybody here at the city council would agree with me that we do want a police department that is going to ensure that people are going to comply with federal, state, and local law, but also have compassion for those suffering from any type of illness. You know, over the last 12 years, you look and, you know, we've done a lot of good things. You know, our main focus was first to build up the industrial site. There was a lot of vacant property out there. A lot of businesses had left. They left the land contaminated. And we spent so much money, so much time cleaning up those properties on the east side. When people think economic development, in their mind, the common resident thinks that economic development is going down Homewood and seeing the Portillos or seeing the Chili's and seeing those type of businesses. But the industrial base is huge in Chicago Heights. It accounts for over 50% of our revenue that comes into Chicago Heights, whether it's through water sales, the electric that they use, the amount of people that they hire. So we were focused on the industrial site for that time, and it's paid off. Very little vacancy now occurs in the East Industrial Corridor, where we have built a very strong tax base. Then, you know, when I look in the past 12 years, what's the biggest achievement? And I think the biggest achievement that I'm proud of, and it wouldn't happen without the aldermen, is that we are a community that's become more and more inclusive. You know, there is no more of these lines between the north and the south, the east and the west, black versus brown, brown versus white. We have built a team, and it's reflected here when I see everybody here. You don't see this much in other city councils. And we are the proof here in Chicago Heights that you hear it a lot. There is strength in diversity, but here we prove it. Here you could see the city council, the department heads, the employees. When you walk into Chicago Heights for any type of services, you don't feel like I don't belong here.
That's right.
And this has taken time, because when I first got here, it didn't exist. But yet I've lived in Chicago Heights for 60 years. So that's what I feel I'm the most proud of. And I think it's, you know, it's going to continue. And I think it's what keeps us going. And it is, instead of building those lines, we have seemed to build a circle that goes through the whole Chicago Heights, and we're all part of it. We're all connected. We're all working together. And, you know, I've heard everybody, what you're saying and how it's all worked out. It is, because we don't see color.
Right.
We don't see male, female. We see what we want is a quality of life for all our residents. And I think that's what's made this very good for me being here. I'm not, you know, when I'm looking, do you want to do it again? Yeah, because there's a lot more work to do. It's an exciting job. I spend my time here. I'm blessed to have a business that allows me to spend time here. You saw the crybaby that just left out, but I got 3 more grandkids here. When I first got elected, I only had 1. You know, but my kids have bought their houses in Chicago Heights. We're not moving. You know, we've been fortunate with the business that, yeah, we could live anywhere we want, but this is where I feel like I'm at home. This is where I'm gonna stay. And I'm going to do whatever I can to make that crybaby out there be safe, including my other kids. So, you know, I look forward to the next 4 years. And, you know, our goal now is to start building the retail that's along the Western Avenue corridor. You know, we have so much potential now that we've cleaned up a lot of that property out by the Food for Less. But we gotta bring in the type of businesses that are going to withstand the Amazon. You know, if we look at history, you can clearly see that when Chicago Heights in the downtown area, it was booming. But what took that out? Park Forest Mall. So when Park Forest opened, it killed the downtown in Chicago Heights. And then what killed the Park Forest ended up being Lincoln Mall. So when Lincoln Mall opened, it killed Sears and Park Forest and killed that area. And then what killed Lincoln Mall? Amazon. We can no longer try to bring in brick and mortar businesses that are going to sell retail that is competing with Amazon. You're not going to see it in Chicago Heights. You're not going to see it even in Homewood. You look at Homewood, what they got? Mattress stores. Because you're going to buy a $5,000, $6,000 mattress, chances are you wouldn't want to go lay in it for a little bit before you have Amazon take it to your house. Right? Glasses. You're going to go in there and want to test those eyeglasses. You're not just going to let Amazon pull it. So we got to look for those businesses that are going to withstand the Amazons. So we do get a lot of calls from businesses, but we want to look at, okay, well, how's this business going to stay around for the next 10, 15 years? We just approved a cannabis dispensary. Cannabis is here. Whether you like it or not, it's here. It creates a lot of revenue. I feel eventually Amazon's gonna probably deliver cannabis at one time. I mean, they're gonna figure it out. Imagine that, cannabis is gonna be delivered by Amazon one day. That means they're gonna warehouse it, they're gonna grow it, they're gonna warehouse it, they're gonna deliver it in trucks, and you're gonna have Chapo Guzman in prison reading about this, thinking, what the hell? Because they're gonna find a way how to take it out of brick and mortar places. And we just have to make sure that we just try to build up that retail. We have some real good prospects that are around Lincoln Highway. Representative DeLuca has been very, very helpful in terms of trying to help us get some red tape out of the way with IDOT. Hopefully it'll start popping. And I want to thank Representative DeLuca for his hard work, because he knows how important it is for us to build that retail corridor. We built the industrial corridor. We're going to build that retail corridor. And I believe if we invest like we did tonight with $1 million worth of cameras throughout the whole city of Chicago Heights, that we can actually have access to videos on cars that are coming in and out of Chicago Heights. That's going to make us feel safe, and if something happens, we have a great police department. But they need those resources. And we have to make sure that even in this next budget, that we provide those resources to the police department. Because I'm not moving, my kids I hope are not moving, my grandkids need to be safe, and I think everybody feels the same way in not just Chicago Heights, but in the south suburbs. So that'll be our goal, is to keep moving Chicago Heights forward, and I'm just so fortunate to be working with everybody here. I mean, when it comes to the 12 years, you think about the people that come in and out of your life. Judge Patton almost made me cry up here right now. I did, I just met her, that one time, and I did. I went to my wife and I said, "This girl's a hot mess. Take it away." I don't know what she's doing, but she's smart, but she don't know anything about politics. But I knew that she was good for the community. Look at her. She's the one that we want there, because we want to make sure that there's diversity on that, as a judge. And we have to help it, help those, anybody like that. And so that was an easy one for me, and yeah, I haven't been able to get rid of you, but I don't want to get rid of you. But I do congratulate you, Judge. You're doing such a great job, and I'm thankful for that you came here and swore us all in. I appreciate it, and I thank everybody for coming out here tonight. Hoping we'll have some refreshments out there, but other than that, I'm going to close it up, but thank you very much.